Come to order here. Please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I appreciate it. Lead us.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hoorah. All right. I think it's time for roll call, please.
Chair Gutierrez.
Present.
Vice Chair Poikert.
Present.
Commissioner Gilbert.
Present.
Commissioner Esvander.
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Present.
All present, 2 vacancies.
Thank you. Do we have any requests for communications from the audience on items not on the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. We have no meeting minutes to review and approve, so we'll go right to public hearing. First item, please.
Well, I have a PowerPoint getting set up here. Sorry about the delay. Looks like everything's loaded. All right, so good evening, Chair, Planning Commissioners. First item on the agenda tonight, the applicant requests that the Planning Commission review and consider conditional development permit number 2023-0013. This is for a proposal for an alcoholic beverage license change from type 20 to type 21 for Jackson food stores. So this specific site is actually on the 210 freeway and Alder. Specifically, it's the southwest corner. This is located within the Renaissance Pacific Plan. The land use designation is Freeway Incubator. This site was actually developed several years ago, I think finalized in 2011. So it's been an existing gas station. And upon origination or establishment, they've had the license by ABC for the type 20. Again, this is one parcel of land as part of a subdivision that was there on the corner. So just for a little bit more clarification, since 2011, at least type 20 has allowed the establishment to sell beer and wine only for off-sale consumption, and the type 21, which is being requested, it will allow the beer, wine, as well as distilled spirits to be included in that as well. As required, Rialto Municipal Code requires a conditional development permit for such a proposal. And so right here just has the layout of the existing convenience store. It a little hard to tell, but in there they actually have the locations of where they're going to have the spirits, along with all the other products that they currently sell as well. So the operations of the convenience store, the typical sundries. Let's see, also type 21, we kind of covered, what they have today and what they want to move to. The hours of operation, we've confirmed that it is 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. and that is daily, 7 days a week, 2 to 4 employees at any given time. Staff has reviewed this and corresponded with ABC as well. So in the staff report, as well as in the resolutions, you'll see that there's also a request for the findings that have been provided as necessary to issue a public public needs and convenience as well determination. So this project in the freeway, it's consistent with not only the zone and the SP, but also with the surrounding land uses around. So it's fully encompassed by landfill, industrial to the north, another C store, or I should say, travel center across Alder there, and then the freeway 210 to the south as well. This is consistent with the following goals: 3-1, 3-3, and 3-4 of the city general plan. And it's all notices. There was a 660-foot radius that was utilized to send out the public hearing notice, as well as published in the newspaper. This project is exempt via Class 1 from CEQA, existing facilities projects. With that, staff recommends that the commission adopt the resolution of approval attached here as Exhibit E for Conditional Development Permit 2023-0013 to allow the sales of distilled spirits for off-site consumption, in addition to the already off-sale for beer and wine. That is all staff has for tonight, but I know the applicant is available should you have any questions or clarifications that need to be done. That's it.
Okay. Guess we'll open the public hearing, and then we'll ask staff if they have any questions real quick and go to the applicant. Open the public hearing. Do we have any questions of this applicant? Okay. Would the applicant like to speak? Yes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Steve Rawlings. I am a third-party consultant to Jackson's Food Stores. And I wanted to take just a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about Jackson's, and then I wanted to see if we couldn't have a discussion about one of the conditions of approval there. Jackson's, if you're not familiar with them, is a very, very large operator of gas and convenience stores. They're based out of Idaho. If you drove through Idaho, Montana, Colorado, you're going to see a lot of Jackson's. About 2 or 3 years ago, they made an acquisition, and they purchased about 30 to 50 existing gas station convenience stores from another operator, and then went through and rebranded all of them. They have stores in Northern California, all the way down to El Cajon, California, Rialto, and Moreno Valley, et cetera, et cetera. So they're relatively new to the state, but they operate well over 300 stores in the western United States. They have 3,000 employees. They take very seriously their business, their operations. They pride themselves on a lot of employee training. They pride themselves on employee retention, which is extremely difficult in this day and age. And they operate very, very clean stores and like to offer not only just your regular stuff that you see at convenience stores, but fresh foods and you know, things like yogurts and pre-made sandwiches and so on and so forth. The request, and we're making this request in a lot of our stores, we already sell the beer and wine. The request is driven a lot by what they call ready-to-drink beverages. If you're familiar with like Cutwater or something along those lines, they'll say they're margaritas in a can, so to speak. Now, alcohol by volume, those are somewhere between 10 and 15% alcohol by volume, which is not much different than what you would find in a bottle of wine. But there's a great deal of consumer demand for this type of product, and we would also like the ability to be able to sell bottles of spirits. Our display for the spirits is behind the cashiers. We certainly don't want any of our customers to be able to take a bottle. We don't like it when product leaves the store, so we go through a lot of measures to try to prevent that activity. So with this particular location, as was noted earlier, we have been selling beer and wine since 2011, and currently we do have the privilege to be able to sell single cans of beer, which is a big part of our business there. And in the conditions of approval, there is, I believe it's condition number 6, there is a proposed prohibition of being able to do that. And I'm not 100% sure what would necessitate that. The Rialto Police Department had an opportunity to look at this. I've been out to the location. There's certainly no residences anywhere nearby. I didn't see any loitering or anything along those lines. And so we would certainly like to be able to preserve our privilege of being able to continue to offer that product. We don't inventory a lot of beer. I mean, I think we dedicate 4 or 5 coolers, which is actually a lot less than some other convenience stores that I have seen. But the ability to continue to sell at least the single cans of beer is important to us. I would offer, I have worked with other communities on this, and I would offer language that would say no single cans of beer over 32 ounces, because there's been some concern in other communities about the 40s, and that's not a business that we're necessarily interested in. And so, so I would make the request that for some consideration of maybe a modification or elimination of that particular condition. Again, I didn't, we're not aware of any problems that we've had at all with our operations, and we don't think that there's going to be any change in that with the addition of distilled spirits. So other than that, we are happy with the conditions. I think that in your in the package was kind of our operations and training program. So we do go through comprehensive programs to try to ensure that our employees are safe, our customers are safe. We don't have product leaving the door out the door without being paid for. We do proper identification checks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So with that, that would be the only modification I would be looking for, and I'm available for any other questions that anybody may have.
So you had no problems with the people coming in and causing some difficulty there at the store operation?
No, we haven't. I mean, I would say that, yeah, that can occur. We have not seen that in this particular store. And our people are trained. I think a lot of people don't realize this, that, it is illegal to sell somebody who's displaying signs of intoxication, as well as, obviously, we know you can't sell to a minor. And we go through great lengths to train our people on signs of intoxication. As a large corporation, honestly, we don't need to make a $10 sale to somebody who's a little bit of a high risk. That's not worth it to us. If it did happen, the company would be fined. We'd have a mark against our license, and a lot of people don't know this, but the cashier that actually made that transaction is going to be lighter in the wallet too by about $1,000 or $1,500, because ABC does fine the individual for that, because they're required to sign what they call a clerk's affidavit, which says, yeah, I understand the rules and regulations, and they're immediately terminated by Jackson's if we have any violations.
I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Are there signs we put up the distance from your location before they can start drinking the beer?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Well, when you buy a beer, you walk outside, you may pop it up, start drinking. Is that legal to do it there on your premises?
Absolutely not.
So are we signs saying no drinking on the premises?
Absolutely. I think that we have those on there, and if you want to place a condition on that, we're more than happy to, because we certainly don't want people in our parking lot. We don't want people hanging out in our parking lot. Hey, fill up gas, come into the store, do your business, and move on. And we certainly don't want somebody sitting in a car drinking or who knows what else. I mean, and our managers are trained to go outside on a regular basis and check for that type of activity. And we approach the people. You have to be careful when you approach people, and we just ask them nicely, would you please leave? And if they don't, after about 10 minutes, we will usually make a phone call to the police department. So we try to police that quite a bit.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion.
Move to adopt the attached resolution Exhibit E to approve conditional development permit number 2023-0013 to allow the sale of distilled spirits for off-site consumption, in addition to existing sales of beer and wine for off-site consumption for the existing convenience market located at 2281 West Casmalia Street, subject to findings and conditions therein.
Second.
Chair, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't support it. Do you want to add the exemption on single beer sales, or no? Leave it the way it is?
Leave it.
Okay. All right. Do I have a second on that motion?
You second, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, no opposed. Thank you. Next item, please.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's wait on that. Let's wait on that.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'll be making the presentation here on the second public hearing tonight. The file numbers for reference are conditional development permit number 2023-0016 and precise plan of design number 2023-0024. This is an application filed by Midland Oil Group, LLC. And these are not working. All right. And on this first slide here, just showing you the project site, I've highlighted it in the red boundary here on the image for you. It is portions of several parcels that are in the process of being merged under a separate lot line adjustment that's being processed by staff currently. But total, the parcel in the end will be 1.88 acres in size. It's located at the northwest corner of Riverside Avenue and Easton Street. It has a zoning designation of C1, neighborhood commercial. It's currently developed into an Arco gas station. It has not only the gas sales, but a convenience market and an existing car wash. Just looking at the aerial, you can see to the north side of the site is the 210 freeway. To the east, across Riverside Avenue, is the In-N-Out Burger. And then to the south, across Easton Street, is Jack in the Box restaurant. And then to the west is a water reservoir facility. And so what the applicant proposes to do with their applications is demolish the existing car wash building and then redevelop and operate a new automated car wash in its place. The new car wash will consist of a car wash tunnel of 4,180 square feet in size, then 18 designated vacuum spaces, some accessory buildings as well, including a 280 square foot attendant hut for the employees, and then a 350 square foot storage room, and then two 120 square foot vacuum producer rooms. And there'll also be a queuing lane for cars entering the car wash, and that will have ability to stack 15 vehicles in it. And then additionally, the applicant will install associated paving and lighting and landscaping. So this next slide shows you the site plan. The new car wash facility, or let me just back up for a second. You could see here kind of the lower left of the site plan, that's the convenience market. And then to the north of it, that's where the new car wash facility is going to go. And that's the same place where the existing one is. So the applicant proposes to demolish that car wash building and then redevelop this new automated car wash just to the north of the convenience market. And then like I said, the car wash tunnel will be on the west side, just north of the convenience market, and the vacuum stations will be on the east side of the car wash tunnel. And then the queuing lane will run along the east and north sides into the entrance of the car wash tunnel on the north side of that building. And then the cars will progress south through the car wash tunnel and then exit out the south side of the building, where then they have the ability to turn left into the vacuum station area, or they could just progress out of the site. I show you the red arrows there on the site. That's showing the location of the existing driveways for this car wash or gas station / car wash. These are existing, they're in place, they're going to remain as they are. So there's one right-in only driveway on Riverside Avenue, and then there are 2 full access driveways on Easton Avenue. Those are the existing driveways that will continue to provide access to the site and to the new car wash. Next slide, this is just showing you what the car wash building is going to look like. The architecture has been designed to match the architecture of the convenience market. So it's implementing those same features, specifically the 2 tower elements with the pitched roofs, with the concrete tile roofing material, same color and exterior materials as present on the convenience market, and also the stone veneer wainscot that's also present on the convenience market. The maximum height of this building will be 35 feet at the tallest point on the northerly tower. And this building does meet the height requirements of the C1 zone. In terms of operations, the applicant plans to operate this car wash from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. It is an automated car wash, so cars will just continuously come through on the conveyor chain and get pulled through the car wash. Once they exit, as I mentioned, they'll be able to go to the vacuum stations where those are self-serve. Additionally, when they enter the facility, the customers will use a self-serve kiosk in order to pay, in order to enter the car wash. But there will be 2 employees on site that are there to help maintain a flow of traffic in and out of the car wash. And then also if there are various membership sales or whatnot, or any issues at the self-serve kiosk. This car wash will be utilize eco-friendly technology. Specifically, it'll help to reduce water consumption by 80% versus these customers washing their car at their home. The water on site will be recycled and filtered, not dumped into the city's storm drain. And the car wash will utilize biodegradable soaps, no toxic chemicals or materials. There was a traffic scoping agreement prepared. There is anticipated to be a net increase in vehicle trips to the facility of approximately 494 daily trips. That is approximately 18 trips in the AM peak hour and 44 in the PM peak hour. The scoping agreement, though, determined that the level of service of all the nearby intersections will continue to operate at their current level, and that there was no requirement for any mitigation to any street intersections. The project before the commission tonight, it is consistent with the development standards and requirements of the C1 zone, the city's design guidelines, and then those surrounding commercial and utility uses that I mentioned earlier. The project is categorically exempt pursuant to CEQA Section 15332 infill development projects, and staff has prepared a notice of exemption. Public hearing notices were mailed out for tonight's hearing to all property owners within 660 feet of the project site, and the notice was also published in the San Bernardino Sun newspaper. No comments were received in advance of tonight's meeting. And with that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt the resolutions before you tonight, approving the conditional development permit and precise plan of design. And that concludes my presentation, and the applicant is here in the audience if you have any questions of us.
Thank you. Go ahead and open the public hearing first. Any questions?
I have a question about the traffic. I've been on that street getting onto Riverside. The backup is just horrible. And I think once they open up those 2 ingress driveways, that's fine. But the traffic is still going to be backed up all the way up over to Willow. And it's going to be one mess. I don't know whether it's the lights, but just, it's going to be a lot of congestion is what I'm saying, because I've been there many times. And trying to get on the 210, and it is a long time. I don't know who, well, it says here who did the scoping, the traffic scoping.
Yes.
But I don't, well, I guess I need to find out more about what's involved in that. Because the level of service is a little bit, in my mind, it's questionable.
It's the level of service, yeah, at that intersection. It is, as you mentioned. I think we all drive through that intersection, very overcrowded at certain times. This project, though, will not reduce the level of service beyond what it is today. So it's not going to provide any significant impact to the traffic. There is an existing condition that you're speaking of, but the project is not going to reduce it to an even worse level of service. And that traffic scoping agreement, it is attached to the agenda report for, the commission to review, if you have any questions about it.
Okay.
Okay, well, maybe we'll have I think the car washes already exist, they're just replacing it. So maybe we'll have to hear more from the applicant if they're adding more capacity or, maybe the exact same thing we already have now.
Yeah, the car wash, the applicant can speak to that too. It is anticipated that there will be a net increase from the existing trips with this car wash. It is a larger facility. It will have an increased amount of traffic, but as shown in the scoping agreement, it's not anticipated to be a significant amount of traffic.
All right, let's let the applicant opportunity to speak, and maybe we can just answer a little bit of Mr. Gonzalez's concerns.
Yeah, my name is Dan Golwin, Barghouse Consulting Engineers. I'm the architect for the project. I'm not a traffic engineer, but I understand the concept of level of service, and there will be more volume of cars washed at the site, or we wouldn't be making this investment.
You're hoping there will be.
Yeah, we're hoping there will be, absolutely. And so, but in the criteria that the traffic engineers are to use, and the ITE and the trip generation estimates that they do based on that type of use, has shown that the level of service will not be degraded. That doesn't mean that there isn't going to be more traffic there. It just means that based on the criteria that defines what the level of service is, it won't change from whatever its current status is today, which is the threshold that needs to be evaluated when it comes to the impact.
I was just concerned, my question was because of the, when In and Out opened up across the street, traffic was horrible. I mean, and it's getting a little bit better, but it's still very congested. And I wonder, who does these surveys and all of that, because traffic is just horrible
Yeah.
on Easton.
In and Out Burgers
And
and
I don't know
Anomaly.
what the solution is.
Yeah. Popularity, right, is a key component, right? It's, people want their In-N-Out burgers, and so it drives a demand. But
And they gotta
in
have
this
clean
case,
car.
it's more or less a convenience for the drivers to get, a faster, better wash at this facility. So, and the idea is that it will give us lift to the entire site. And it'll be good for the city too, because we'll get a better revenue out of it.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Anybody else? Nope. All
I
right.
don't have any questions, no, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second?
Any opposed? All right, do I have a motion?
Move to adopt the attached resolution. Go ahead.
Okay, move to adopt that resolution exhibit F and G, thereby approve a conditional development permit number 2023-006, procedure plan of design number 2023-024, allowing the demolition of an existing car wash and development and use of a new 4,180 square foot automatic car wash building with 18 vacuum spaces and approximately 1.88 acres of land, APA 0127-023-02, and portion of APN 0127-023-04-07 and -08, subject to final conditions therein.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next item, please.
All right, good evening, Chair, Planning Commissioners. This next item, public hearing, I think in the PowerPoint here, we kind of lost the cover sheet, but tonight for your consideration, the applicant is requesting that the Planning Commission review and consider conditional development permit 2023-0020. This project location is actually south of the 10 freeway in the Aguamanza specific plan. The property is owned and operated by Old Dominion. It's actually an existing maintenance facility. Their main facility is across the street, but this is just their maintenance facility on about 4.7 acres. The existing facility, oh, sorry about that. It's actually located at 2231 South Willow. Stated it's actually in the heavy industrial zone. So when you look at the aerial, you can see all of the adjacent industrial uses. There's a horse trailer repair to the north, an existing steel yard to the south. As mentioned, on the west side is the Old Dominion main facility. And then over to the east side, you have some environmental hazardous consultants there. So the proposal is to install about 1,850 linear feet of electrical fence. It's going to be similar to the previous electrical fences that the commission has reviewed. This one's 10 feet in height. It does have several layers of deterrence, the first being signs, both in English and Spanish, the audible siren. Next is the actual low voltage shock in single bursts. And attached to the staff report are also the University of Wisconsin safety reports and then the OSHA compliance. Sorry, back to this slide here, just kind of shows they have existing perimeter fencing, especially in the interiors next to the industrial uses are all existing fencing, chain link. This, on the frontage, there is a screen wall there, but the proposal is to put the 10-foot electrical fence just on the inside of the existing fencing. So this project has actually been reviewed by various departments, fire department as well is good with it. So as standard in the conditions of approval in the resolution, you'll find the PD's recommended standard condition of approval to install those installation of signs. The fence installation is actually consistent with the general plan's goal 5-9 to reduce the criminal activity. This project is exempt via CEQA Class 3, new construction of small structures. This project actually utilized the 660-foot radius to send out all the notices to property owners adjacent, and it was also published in the local newspaper. Staff did not receive any comments via email, calls, or at the counter or general mail. With that, staff's recommendation is that the Planning Commission adopt the attached resolution Exhibit E for conditional development permit 2023-0020 to allow the installation of 1,850 linear feet of electrical fence associated with the existing maintenance facility located at 2231 South Willow, subject to the conditions or findings and conditions therein. That is all staff has. I'm not sure if the applicant is available today. I did contact them, and they were just finding out about tonight's meetings. If you have any questions, I'm sure we can help answer them for you.
I do have a couple of questions. What, the perimeter is, how tall is the fence now that they have?
So they have a standard 6-foot block wall across the front. Yeah, it's a decorative fencing that came along with the improvements there. But are on the perimeters where they're adjacent to other industrial users, those are just chain link fencing.
And that's going to be a 10-foot fence or a 6-foot?
The existing is 6 foot. The proposed electric fence is going to be 10. Yeah, 10 feet tall.
Okay. And they have a block wall in front, right?
Yeah, along the frontage.
Yeah, okay. And I like that they're going to put the signs up for the voltage, electrical voltage and all that in English and Spanish.
Definitely.
Okay. We don't open the public hearing on this one, or no? We do, right? Okay. Any other questions, you guys? Any questions from the audience? It's nice about electric fence. If you're not in there to steal anything, you don't have to worry about it. So
Move to close the public hearing.
Second?
Okay.
Move to adopt the attached resolution Exhibit E to approve conditional development permit number 2023-0020 to allow the installation of approximately 1,850 linear feet of electric security fencing around the perimeter of an existing maintenance facility located 2231 South Willow Avenue, Assessors Parcel Number 58-041-09, subject to the findings and conditions therein.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next item on our agenda. Comments, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We have a couple more projects coming your way in October. An industrial building, a couple industrial buildings that you'll see come through. Probably, and there may be one in early October, maybe one in later October. One of the sites is a little bit complicated. It has a railroad ownership in there. It has, city well water ownership in there. It has utilities with Edison wrapped into it, and it has the county, trying to build, some flood control improvements. So there's a number of different things going on. But, staff is working those issues out, now in anticipation for a later October, planning commission meeting. So, then the one before that looks like it's going to come north of the 210, an industrial building. It is one of our larger ones, 380,000 square feet. But that pretty much is, looks generally par for the course, meeting a lot of the regular standards of the code. But still worthy of a good conversation, and it has neighborhood, to the north of it. But we don't expect too many extraordinary issues around that project. But outside of that, we did have a discussion today around a project that is submitted through the county. It is 1 million square feet, right there at Pepper and north of the 210. You probably know it as the Vulcan site. The aggregate, base site. And so it's a project being submitted to the county that's going through various reviews right now through their development review process. They're doing their environmental work, preparing all that. And so they're having certain conversations with the city because they need to have sewer services and things of that nature with the city. So we will be working with the county executive office, Aaron and myself, talking to them about any pre-annexation type conversations and things of that nature. So we have a good participation in the project during the entitlement process. Also some negotiations possibly on development fees, because certainly the city of Rialto would be impacted greater than the county or the city of San Bernardino. Yeah. And then any ongoing long-term annexation type of arrangements that could that are general terms between counties and cities. So that's a different conversation that's being had separately. The project is going to be another 12 months down the road, going through its process and design and all that, but it is something that's out there. So that's about it.
Planning commissioner comments? Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, any opposed?
Anybody to oppose?
Yeah. All right.
When's our next meeting?
Did you get my certificate?
Colby?
Yes,
When's
sir.
our next meeting?
October 11th.
Okay.
Until what?
11th.